San Francisco 49ers played football today. It was so fantastic to watch. It was exciting for it to finally be here. Catch the boys in action. The 49ers losing 17-13 against the Tennessee Titans in an exhibition game. What we really care about in the first preseason game, of course, is how those depth positions are looking, those roster battles, what they're looking like, and, of course, how the rookies looked in this video. We are talking about standout players from the game today, roster battles, rookies, and more. If you need to hear, I'm Nate. We're talking the San Francisco 49ers every single day on this channel, so make sure you subscribe and come back tomorrow because there will be another video every single day, all the time. The good news is this: the 49ers had numerous standout players, exciting to see, and despite some weaknesses being exposed at times, I love when weaknesses are exposed during training camp. You have all this time to work out things, to try things out, and a lot of times preseason can be oversimplified. And I love when you see some things happen and some things not go right the way that you might want them to, because this is the time of the season it's easiest to work those things out. Before we break down the game and some of the standout players and how the rookies looked and all that good stuff, let me know in the comments, who were you most encouraged by after watching this game? What player, I'm about to talk about a lot of players. What player for you really stood out to you in a way that you were like, oh, that makes me feel a lot better? I know it's preseason. I know it's an exhibition game. I know that we're not going to expect what we see here to look exactly the same in any way, shape, or form necessarily when we actually start the season. But, man, who made you feel encouraged? Because I'll tell you, there's a couple guys out there that after just seeing them on the television in the 49ers uniform, with the right formation, like there are some guys who made me feel really good right now. So here's the breakdown, just some basic info here, just to give you some thoughts of kind of where I was seeing some standout players. And this is going to feel somewhat random, but with the new kickoffs, it was really interesting to see Trent Taylor back there. Not exclusively, I believe. I thought I had a note on this. I want to say Cody Schrader returned one of those kickoffs, but Trent Taylor, I don't see the note here, so I don't remember how far he went, but Trent Taylor absolutely out there in the receiving game for special teams, both on kickoffs and punt returns. No surprise there, of course, but definitely solidifying that role that we are expecting him to play in special teams this season, which is cool. When they called him back, it wasn't 100% sure they were calling him back because he was going to make the team. It was really more like he could be an extra guy, could provide us something extra and more valuable. Of course, if Ronnie Bell doesn't make the team, you do need a punt returner, right? And you can't just rely on your rookies who didn't even feature in the game because they're injured. So, there you go. Happy to see that, though. Brandon Allen looked comfortable, looked good in the pocket, moved well in the pocket, made some good passes. Took a real shot from the blind side, by the way, and you're definitely missing Trent when that happens, are you not? Trent Williams, of course, not Trent Taylor. Josh Dobbs also had some good moments, had a sick touchdown, absolutely electric touchdown, and made some great passes as well. Jordan Mason was standout for me in the first half. Running the ball, it started off with like a 13-yard run, just like straight out the gate, and was just absolutely blistering through contact. It was awesome. Absolutely loved that one. Offensive line gave up way too many pressures in the first half. I haven't even looked to see how many pressures they gave up in the second half. A lot as well. So a ton of pressures given up by the offensive line. But Pooney was out there. Looking good as far as I could tell. Kind of hard to watch all of these guys at the same time, of course. Cody Schrader had some moments. I love the way he runs with the ball when he has a few yards. When he gets contact, like within the first yard or two of getting the ball, he's not really he didn't do anything special in those moments, not yet anyway. Trey Martin was also kind of a surprise. He was a surprise standout for me. I didn't expect him to be a standout player. He was out there getting targeted a lot, catching the ball a lot. That was cool. Frank Darby making his case out there with a massive 30-yard play. On the defensive side of the ball, I saw D. Winters all over the place several times during the game. really blitzing at one point, exploding through the line for a tackle for loss, making sure Will Levis doesn't run it in for a touchdown. That was a huge stop. Malik Mustafa also had a huge stop. Absolutely blistered on a blitz, stopping a touchdown, holding back the first down, forcing a turnover there. It turned out in the end. Great hit during the kickoff. For special teams, Malik is going to be a beast. He was frequently one of the first guys there. I mean, just his timing and his speed and his athleticism and his ability to move around a guy and get open. Wow, that was a lot of fun to watch. Curtis Robinson also making himself known a few times. To pull up the stats for you a little bit there, just so you can get a little bit of a feel if you didn't watch the game. Josh Dobbs, 14 for 20, 146 yards. Brandon Allen didn't get as many reps. Both of them doing fairly similarly. We're going to write off that interception at the end of the game there. The Hail Mary doesn't really count, but you can see the kind of pressure the quarterbacks are under here. Not ideal in that scenario at all. As I mentioned, Jordan Mason, Trent Taylor did have a really big run, kind of a Debo-esque kind of situation there. That was kind of cool. Josh Dobbs had that one run in for a touchdown, doing a front flip. That was cool. Didn't like everything I saw out of Matt Breida, but we're going to give the Cheetah some time. No pressure there. Same thing with Cody Schrader. Anyone else I haven't cut? Oh, Chris Conley only had those 2 targets. I think both of them were from Brandon Allen, but looked solid. And maybe, hold on, that's not right. There we go. Chris Conley. Yeah, it was only the 2 targets. He was 2 for 2. Okay. Wow. Interesting. I'm blanking on something. There must have been another throw there, or does it not count if it gets pulled back? Maybe that's what it was. That's what I'm remembering. Whatever the case is, loving that. Saubert had some moments on special teams. Tatum Bethune. He was around. He was making himself known there. I think that's just about everybody that I really wanted to kind of hit on. Rock Yassin was out there quite a bit as well. I was looking for more out of Evan Anderson. I told you that already, but, at first preseason game, give him some time there. Shaquille Brown didn't really do much of anything at all either. Not exactly sure how much playing time the guy got, though. Moving on out of there, okay? Let's move on because we got some updates we got to give you. Firstly, Ambry Thomas unfortunately sustained a broken forearm. He's going to be out for some time. That sucks for sure. Dominic Pooty, positive for his sake. Got the start of the preseason opener after taking hold of the right guard job in camp with Spencer Burford and John Feliciano. Both went down with injuries. Pooty looked to be the front runner for the job going into Saturday's game. He solidified that spot with his performance in Tennessee. There was never a point. This is bold right here. Listen to this. Never a point where Pooty looked overwhelmed, and he never got soundly beat on a rep. He anchored well in pass protection, moved well in the run game, also flashed good awareness to look for work and push running back Jordan Mason across the goal line to cap the 49ers' first drive with a touchdown. That he was removed from the game with the other starters is a sign that the coaching staff was happy with his debut. There'll be some finishing touches for Pooty to put on the job. He'll need to close training camp and preseason performing well, but all signs point to the right guard spot being his job to lose. So congratulations to all of you in the comments who have said, there have been a few of you, I believe I said it really early on and then kind of stepped back from what I said from my early confidence. But for all of you that were out there saying Pooty's going to be a starter week 1, congratulations. You called it. Good on you. Some other standout players, I want to make sure this is just my opinion, but let's look at what some other actual reputable writers are saying. In addition to that, only negative play for Dobbs when he suffered a sack while attempting to navigate heavy pressure on a 4th down pass and a Hail Mary interception to end the game, and the 49ers ran out of time after the level of play he put up in the preseason opener. It felt more even to me, to be honest with you. But here's J.D. Salazar telling you he thinks that Dobbs should be considered a strong favorite to back up quarterback Brock Purdy heading into next week. There you have it. Okay, moving on, though. Jordan Mason. I already kind of talked about him, so I'm going to go ahead and move on from Jordan Mason, actually. Malik Mustafa, talked about him as well. We'll add this. While he has some ways to go before leapfrogging Jair Brown and George Odom, because the defense, yeah, we got to talk about that. We'll talk about that in a second. He made a strong statement today amidst a plethora of impressive defensive performances. I want to say we gave up some big plays, special teams especially, gave up some big plays. But even on defense, there were some moments there where we looked very confused. And this is like very typical, in my opinion, of preseason. I think this is part of what happens when you're moving guys in and out and you've got guys not playing with guys who they normally play with. And even if it is like all second stringers and they're all used to playing together, which never really shakes out that way, and honestly, but even if that were the case, it's still not the same. It's not the same. And, the Titans are out there with Calvin Ridley and Tony Pollard and Will Levis. I mean, they got a lot of first-team players out there that they're starters, and they're out there and, putting some serious pressure. So I don't want to be too harsh on the 49ers, but there were some big plays given up, which wasn't exciting to see. What was exciting to see, and I'm not the only one, Malik Mustafa, listen to what Kyle Shanahan had to say after the game about Malik Mustafa.
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it was huge. I mean, right when he cut it back and Mustafa coming from the middle there and couldn't hesitate, and we knew he was a hitter, so we were excited to see him today hit someone else besides our own guys in practice.
Was it okay to see him with all much running?
Excited to see him hit somebody else other than our guys at practice. Love that from Kyle Shanahan. Great answer, of course. My goodness, I could probably go for another 20 minutes if I wanted to, but I'm going to stop here because I want you to do something for me. Let me know in the comments what you were excited to see. What was most exciting to see? I already told you the players that were standouts for me. Most important, most exciting moments for me, if I had to pick one, since I'm not going to comment it, because I'm telling you right now, if I were to comment my favorite moment, it would have to be either D. Winters stopping the quarterback. I think it was Mason Rudolph. It could have been Will Levis. Maybe it was Will Levis. Stopping him from going in for a touchdown, from running in for a touchdown. Josh Dobbs doing a little front flip touchdown deal. That was cool. But I think my favorite, because of the sheer speed and how he absolutely stuffed the running back, Malik Mustafa. That was just incredible. And it turned into a turnover, which was awesome as well. Let's go. Hey, let me know what you're thinking in the comments. Look forward to joining you there. As always, what a time to be alive.